Hiya, I'm Sam.
I'm Jack.
We are two of the members of Marmozets.
Hi guys, thank you for your time. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Very well, thank you.
Good. Well, I thought let's start at the very start. At what point did the five of you come together and decided to make music?
We met in school in like
8 years ago. Well, I've known you for about 10.
10 years.
We started about 8 years ago.
As a band, yeah. We basically just met in school, and me and Sam sort of met just through being the only two lads in our school that actually liked music in a way. So we just talked about guitars and stuff like that, and then he sort of introduced me to Becca and Josh, who are obviously his siblings.
Yeah.
And we just sort of started jamming in his living room, really. And then my brother Will sort of came on board a few years later, like a couple of years later after that. And then, yeah, that was sort of it. Just did shows locally and stuff, and then here we are.
So you've performed a lot, right? Back then, even.
Oh
before
yeah,
actually releasing that much music.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before we'd have like a MySpace page, we'd have like a cover of a song, and then like one of our own songs. It was like half recorded on a phone or something, put onto MySpace, and then
You gotta start somewhere, right?
yeah, exactly. And we used to do like shows in like anywhere that would allow us, because we were like 14 on average, I think, quite young. So just like anywhere that would actually allow us to play, there we'd be there.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of gigs where we turned up and we weren't allowed to play. So we were 18. It was a bit like
when we turned up outside the venue and they wouldn't let us in this like busy city, and it's like, oh well,
yeah. Go on then.
What has been the biggest change since you released your debut album?
I think
a lot more people have been coming to the shows.
Yeah, that's been the main thing. I think we've just come off, like last week we just finished like a UK sort of headline run, and then we really noticed a difference when we were doing that. It was just when, I don't know, just the amount of people that actually showed up to the shows and stuff was just like, this is weird now. Do you know what I mean? It was like, aside from that, we're actually getting somewhere. It's like, cool, you know. And that was a big point, wasn't it? Just that.
Awesome. So this is your first headline tour in mainland Europe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you notice a difference in gigs in the UK and then here? Or?
We don't know yet.
We'll find out.
You've obviously played some festivals, so I'm
Oh yeah.
The festivals over here, so good. Like the first time we ever did like festivals over here, there were so many people who like turned up, and it was like
crazy. I think crowds in general, they seem a bit more sort of polite in a way.
Okay.
So say in between songs, they sort of actually listen to what you're saying. They might be a bit quiet. Then once you get used to that, then it's like cool. Because then when the song actually kicks in, or whatever, like well up for it.
I kind of like it.
Which is it's nice as well, because you get to sort of get your bearings and stuff. And like, right, chill a bit. Listen.
Oh well.
It's a good thing for me.
What's your favorite song to play live and why?
I really like playing the song Born Young and Free live.
Captivate is quite fun.
Captivate is fun, just because there's a lot of sort of, I guess, crowd interaction in a way in those songs. Like the crowd sort of know that songs played best because they're probably the two sort of singles that we've had that have got the most sort of airtime or people heard. Besides Why Do You Hate Me, I guess. But they're always fun to play live because everyone's like jumps about and stuff, and yeah, so it's nice to sort of feed off their energy, if you get what I mean, which is cool.
Yeah, so what can we expect from a Marmozets show? Because you're quite out there and wild, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily like quite a couple of years ago and stuff like that, like our live shows were sort of known for being quite hectic and like pulling gear around and everyone going absolutely nuts to be like, that's what makes that live show. It's kind of like we've sort of tightened up on our sound and you know, trying to make it sound really good, you know, and sort of look good at the same time. But it's not really sort of, we don't want to be seen as like sort of performing monkeys, really. It's kind of like people have come here to like listen to our music live, so we want it to sound good.
Yeah.
So you sort of taking elements of the craziness but sort of honed it in. We still obviously jump about like madmen, but actually play our guitars rather than throw them at people, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been reading a lot of articles on women on festivals, because there are way less bands with women on festivals. Do you have an opinion on that?
We were sort of So we were actually quite surprised when we saw the
We don't actually give a shit, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you actually cares. Well, that's how I think about it anyway. Like, people get into this whole thing, like, how like, crazy is it that there's only, like, these amount of people with girls, singers, and, like, people with, like, women in their bands. It's like, well, it's not their problem, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's I'm not going to say it's the women's fault, do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of, but, like, if they want to be in a band, then be in a band. If they don't want to, they don't have to, do you know what I mean? And it's not like people are saying, oh, I don't like that band because it's got a girl in it. Like,
it's not how it is.
It's not like that. Oh, it's more of one of those things where I think people are making a big deal out of it. And it's kind of like
it started this year. I don't know where
it's
from really.
It's just another thing for people to talk about. Really, it's kind of like, oh, you know what? We'll post something about that just to try and get some likes and retweets. That's all it is. Like, personally, I don't really give a shit. I think it's just a load of bollocks, really.
It's been kind of good for us in a way that, like, when that poster for Leeds Reading got posted of just the bands with girls in it.
You were the only ones on the main stage, right?
So we basically just got, like, loads of free press out of it. So
that's kind of a good way to see it, actually.
Like, cool, alright, you know, it's sort of more a thing you'd have to ask Becca about, I guess.
And then again, she doesn't really care.
I don't think she cares either.
It's kind of, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, it's almost like, I don't know.
It wasn't a problem until someone made it a problem, if you get me.
Exactly,
it's like,
someone's like, that's wrong, but it's like,
why is it? I don't understand. I don't really care.
I think it's about the music and not about the gender, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
You've played quite a few festivals and shared the stage with some, well, pretty awesome bands, right? Could you name one artist you'd want to share the stage with?
We already did it, and that was Macklemore.
Macklemore, man. Nah. I think, I'm not sure. Someone like Refused or something would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Well, this year we're sharing the stage with Metallica, which is going to be quite crazy.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
we're 4 underneath Metallica. That's
it's a bit scary. It's like Metallica, but yeah, I'm not sure.
No one in particular?
Any Jack White's bands, really?
Oh yeah, well so like the Dead Weather or something return or something, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Who are your musical influences?
So it goes back to what we just said then.
Jack White.
Me and Sam. Yeah.
Well, because I remember, like, when we were like 11, 12, we would be upstairs like jamming out Hello Operator and stuff, and I'd just be watching you because I couldn't actually play guitar at the time, like, properly, could I? He kind of taught me how to play guitar, really, because can you remember? I used to go around to his and I couldn't really play, but he could, and it was kind of just like, he helped me out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we literally just used to sit in my bedroom and learn White Stripes songs. That's all I did.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, actually, because Why Do You Hate Me, that song, that kind of reminded me of the sound of White Stripes and Jack White.
Cool.
So that's, yeah.
It's not like we listen to his songs and think, right, let's take one of Jack White's riffs and try and change a few notes, you know what I mean, and try and get away with it. It's more just like, you know, we love that sort of sound, and like Queens of the Stone Age and the Hives and the Vines and all these like amazing solid guitar bands that sound really good and like have that thing that really brings out an emotion in us, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fat riffs.
What do you have planned for the future?
Lots of touring until the end of the year, and then
demoing at the moment for our second record.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're doing that, and then hopefully get some new material out sooner rather than later, and then try and record another album as soon as we can as well.
Yeah.
We're sort of really wanting to keep things.
We could expect an EP before.
No, we'll literally have
an album, a couple of singles.
Singles then another album. I think. I don't think we're going to bother with EPs as of yet. We just sort of want it to be like album. Yeah.
And now I have a kind of a deeper question. What do you think the future of music will look like?
It's going good.
Good question.
Because I've read an article from Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. He said in 5 years rock will be the biggest genre.
It doesn't surprise me. It's sort of music sort of goes through different waves of stuff, and it was like a big sort of, I guess it is sort of then out like dance music and stuff. Now it's like enormously, you know, it's like huge. It always has been, but more underground now. It's sort of really like it's on mainstream radio, like Skrillex and stuff like that's like on the radio all the time. It's like cool, and then you sort of getting more rock bands that are getting a bit more. You're getting noticed and stuff, which is really cool, and having them played on like Radio 1, and you're getting like bands like Royal Blood and Bring the Horizon, even, you know, like sort of
they've really
these,
broke out,
and they're, you know, like Bring the Horizon to Wembley in the UK. It's like this is amazing to see sort of bands that, you know, like wear into that are like heavier and stuff that are actually getting, you know, influencing other bands as well. And yeah, I sort of agree with Jacoby there. Hopefully, anyway. I mean, it'd be wicked, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there'll never sort of really be like a like an era won't come sort of back. Do you get what I mean? It's kind of like when grunge and shit like that, like Nirvana and all that came out, it was like a completely new thing. You know, it's not like a set thing. Like, this is what's really in at the moment. It's like there's so many different types of music that is out at the moment, and people are getting confused on like what they like. There's just so many things to like, and you know what I mean. But as long as like new bands come out and start writing decent music, then that's the only thing really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like write decent music, innit?
Okay, well that's it actually. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
If you want to do something amazing in your life right now, then subscribe to DutchScene TV right now.